Hey guys, welcome back to the 12th video of the Python Tutorials for Beginners series. In this video, we'll be learning about reading and writing two text files in Python. So first, you need to know where to locate your text file. So over here, you can see my file explorer in VS Code, and in my lesson 12 reading and writing files, I have three files. So I have reading files.py and writing files.py. So I'll be writing Python code in these files. And this is the document.txt file, which is a text document. So I currently have nothing written over here, but let's just write a few words. Okay, so I've written 5 lines in my text document and it is saved since uh, my VS Code editor auto saves everything. So now let's go back to Python and let's learn how to read from our text document. So first we need to read our document. So we can do this by creating variable to represent our text file, and we'll use the open function in Python, which is the inbuilt function for reading files. And I have to type in the name of my document, including the file extension. Do not forget that, comma, and currently we're just reading our file, so we are putting in read mode. So to do it in read mode, you just have to type R. Okay. Next, we need to read the lines from our text file. So let's use the variable lines to represent that, and text file dot read lines. Okay, so basically we are reading all the lines in our text file and we'll print out the lines. And remember that we are opening the text file, but you also need to close it. Okay, so to close our text file, we just have to type in text file dot close. All right. Okay, so we open the file in line number 1 and we close our file in line number 4. Okay, so let's run the code. And you can see that I print out a Python list. All right, so this is our Python list with 5 elements. So let me go back to the document.txt. So each element in our Python list represents each line in the document.txt file. All right. So hi slash n, Python slash n, tutorial slash n, for beginners slash n, and series. Now you might be wondering what slash n is. Slash n is basically a escape character that represents going to a new line. Okay, so for example, in document.txt, I have hi, and then from line 1, I'm going to line number 2 to Python. All right, so over here, there's an invisible slash n character, which basically tells the text file that we're going to the next line. We're going to line number 2. All right, otherwise, it would just be like this, right? We're not going to the next line, we're just all in line number 1. But instead, we're going to line to the next line, so we have the slash n. So from line number 2, which is Python, we're going to line number 3. So we have a slash invisible slash n at line number 2. Similarly, we have an invisible slash n at line number 3 and line number 4. Line number 5 doesn't have a slash n. You can see it in the Python list because we are not going to the next line. So let's say if I press enter. So whenever I press enter, the slash n character is created. So over here, I go from line number 5 to line number 6. So there is a slash n. So if I run the code, you can see that I have a slash n. All right, but I don't have any string that represents line number 6. So if you have an empty line, then it's just ignored. Okay, so let me just go back and run the code again. And you can see that I have this without the slash n for series. Okay, now let's say I want to remove the slash n. Okay, we can do that by using a string function. So lines is a Python list, right? So we can iterate by item using a for loop, right? So for line in lines colon. Okay, next I want to have a new list that will store my string elements without the slash n, because that's what you're doing. We're just removing the slash n. Okay, so new list dot append. So append basically adds an element to our Python list, and line represents each string in our Python list. So we're iterating by item. So line is a string, and we'll use the strip function. So what the strip function does is that it basically removes the escape characters at the end. All right, so that's the strip function, and we'll print out our new list. All right, and you can see that we have our Python list with our text without the escape character, right? We don't have any more slash n's. So yeah, that's it for reading files. And one more thing is, let's say I have numbers, so 1 2 3 4 5. If I run the code now, let's actually print the lines. You can see that I still have the slash n, right? Because what Python does, it reads each line as a string, so you still have the slash n. So our new strip function basically removes the slash n. But still do remember that each element is still a string, right? And we want to convert it to an integer, and we can do this by simply wrapping our line.strip with int. All right, because int converts our string to an integer, and we get a list of integers. All right. Again, remember that if you write in text, you'll get a value error because you cannot convert the string hello into an integer. So yeah, that's it for reading files in Python. Okay, so now let's learn about writing text to files using Python. Okay, so here's my document.txt, which has 1 2 3 4 5, and now we need to use a variable that will represent our text file. So I'll be using the variable text underscore file, and next we'll be using the open function. Then type in the name of our document. Don't forget the file extension. And in our previous code, we used R, which stands for read, right? We are just reading the file, and it's in read mode. So now we'll be writing. So instead of typing R, we'll type in W. Okay, and at the end of our code, we want to ensure that we close our file. So the thing is, since you are writing some text to our text file, we want to ensure that we close it so that our content is saved to the hard disk. Otherwise, your text file, the content that you just wrote, may not be saved, and your text file might be even corrupted, might get corrupted. Okay, so the first function we'll be learning about is text file dot write, and we'll be writing a simple string, which is Python. All right. Okay, so do note that we have from our document.txt, we have 1 2 3 4 5, and then let's run our code. So, and you can see what happened was that the previous text, which was 1 2 3 4 5, it all got erased. All right. So the only word we now have is Python, and that was what we wrote using this line. All right. So this is Python. Again, if we replace the word with something like tutorial, you can see that the previous word Python, it was deleted, and we just wrote the word tutorial. All right. So next is writing multiple lines to our text file. So let's say we put in a variable lines. Okay, let me just resize everything. Okay, so over here is that I have a simple list. So this list is from our reading files.py, is from our previous text document. All right, so we'll be writing hi, and then on the next line, we'll be writing Python, then tutorials, then for beginners series. All right, so to write all these lines, we can use the write lines function. All right, and then we'll simply put in the Python list. Okay, so we have tutorial in our text document. So let's just run the code, and you can see that our Python list over here, it got printed, it it was basically our text document is written with the content from our lines list. Okay, so yeah, that's it for writing text to Python. So one more thing you might be wondering is, how do I add a line to this document? Because let's say I want to add the word hello in line 6 without, you know, putting without erasing all this content. All right. So now look, you should look at this very carefully. I have line number 5, which is series, and on the next line, I have line number 6. And let me just put underscore n at the end just to confirm. All right. So we have this. Okay, great. So what we'll do now is we will replace this lines list with text file dot read lines. Okay, so what this line is doing is we are basically taking lines and then we're making it to a Python list to read all the lines in our document. So all of this will be made into a simple list. Next, next what you can do is that we can just take lines dot append hello. All right. So you can just add another string, and we can also add in a slash n for the new line. All right. So first what we're doing is that we are reading our text and converting it to a Python list. Next, we are appending hello slash n to that list, and then we're writing it and then we're closing it. So in other words, we're basically adding a new line to our text document. So you can see that here, again, it's Hi Python Tutorials for Beginners series. And again, line 5 has a new line number 6. All right, so let's just run the code. Okay, so you can see the error is that we need our text file in read mode to read the text. So what we can do here is that we can put it R. All right, so we're just reading our file in read mode. Okay, and then we'll convert our text file to write mode. Right, so just reading the text, then we are reading the lines, then we are appending hello to it. And also remember to close it since we are so what we're doing here is that we are reading our content. So we are opening our file, we are reading the lines, then we are adding a new line, then we are closing the file, then we are opening in write mode, sorry. Then we're writing the lines and then we are closing it. All right. So no error there. Okay, wait, let me just, I think from our previous operation, we deleted all the content. Okay, so let's run the code again. So you can see that we got our new word hello to our document. Now let's replace the word hello with uh, maybe something like number. Okay, so let's just run the code, and you can see that we added a new line number. All right, we can then put in two append statements. So let's just put in string, convert the change number to data type. All right, slash n. And you can see that we are just continuously adding lines, so data type and string. So yeah, that's pretty much it for reading and writing to text files in Python. If you learned something from this video, then please consider giving a like and subscribe to this channel. And yeah, I'll see you in another video.